Okay, so do you guys want your GoPro footage to look super cinematic like it belongs to some Hollywood film? I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can elevate your GoPro footage and make it super cinematic. We're going to cover just 3 major questions in this video. First is, what are the settings you require for your GoPro? That is your frame rate, resolution. Second is the color. What type of color profile do you need to record in to get the most aesthetic professional look? Finally, the major thing which every biker wants in his video, that is your buttery smooth motion blur. So sit tight and relax because we're going to cover all of this in just one video. I've spent hours testing these settings so you guys don't have to. First up, let's talk about the resolution and the frame rate. That's the foundation of the camera. When I first started using my GoPro, I used to put everything in the max settings. That is 4K 60 frames a second, thinking higher numbers is better footage. But I was completely wrong. My footage looked more like a game than a cinematic footage. So the first change that you make in your GoPro, for the cinematic shots, set up your camera at 4K with 24 frames per second frame rate with a shutter speed of double it, that is 1/48 of a second. This frame rate matches what you've seen mostly in all of your Hollywood movies, instantly giving you that cinematic touch to your videos. Second, color profile and white balance. Now that you've nailed the basics of your camera with your resolution and frame rate, you need to know how you can get that aesthetic professional look in your videos that make it feel like a Hollywood movie. Initially, what I used to do was just leave my GoPro at the normal settings and just later on come and sit down and see how dead my footage used to look, because it used to normally just bump up the saturation and make the footage look all really bad. But the real difference is when you change the color profile from GoPro to flat footage. So for this, go into your settings, go to color profile and change it from GoPro to flat. This keeps your footage neutral and gives you more control over the entire footage. As far for the white balance, normally you would leave that just at 5500 Kelvin, that is daylight. This normally avoids any type of white balance shift in your skin tones or your footage. Ideally, you wouldn't want to leave it at auto because based on the lighting that enters, the camera would try to rectify it automatically, continuously changing your footage color, which would hinder with the video quality. Lastly, the most important, buttery smooth motion blur. And here's where the magic happens, the stabilization and motion blur. Have you ever seen any footage where your video just looks jittery, like shaking and like with the very minute micro movement of your camera and not having it smooth? Cinematic footage needs more than just smoothness. It requires the right kind of motion blur. So for starters, you can get into your settings and change your stabilization from off to on and not Hypersmooth. If you put Hypersmooth, the thing is the camera tends to put a 1.5x crop, which does not give you the widest look into your video, giving it more of a cropped and claustrophobic look. You want the widest angle possible when you're sitting on your bike getting a POV shot. So change your stabilization settings from off to just on and not Hypersmooth. That's the first. Secondly, for that buttery smooth motion blur and the real change in your videos, because when you put 4K at 24 frames a second, you allow much more light to enter, giving your entire footage a blown out look in terms of the amount of light entering. So the one thing you need to change for that is your ND filter. An ND filter is a small sunglass that you can save for your cameras, which helps in reducing the amount of light that enters. But that also does a very good thing, that is increase the amount of motion blur that comes into your camera. So when you put on the ND filter, you get that buttery smooth motion blur that you look into every video that you've seen till now and you want it for your own. And lastly, for a bonus tip, because why not, for your post-production, use a slight crop in post-production. That is adding black bars for that wide cinematic aspect ratio. This really pushes your videos to the next level. It's a small tweak that you add in your post-production, but really impacts your video, pushes it up to the next level. Don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you never miss out on any of the videos that we post out. See you on the next one. Bye.